CC4. I request her evaluator, Toastmaster Tangama, to read out the instructions. Over to you, Tangama.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tanuja. Toastmaster Shabana will be attempting the project 4 from the Competent Communicator Manual today, which is how to say it. The objectives of the same are to select right words and sentences, to structure and communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly. Use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize your ideas. Eliminate jargon and unnecessary words and use correct grammar. You have 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tangama. So our first speaker for today is an image consultant and a socially a gregarious person. She's somebody who is managing home and work and trying to create a balance. And for her, happiness is all about giving and receiving. So please put your hands together for Shabana Khan. Her speech title is Calm Before the Storm. Please put your hands together for Shabana.
I remember whenever there was a calmness and quietness in the air, my mother always said, Shabana, there is a lot of peace and tranquility outside. This sometimes indicates that there is something chaotic is going to we are going to experience very soon. I used to laugh at her statement. Perhaps I think she had some kind of a psychic connection. Believe me, in a day or two, we used to hear a terrible news. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. It was in the year 2007. I returned from the Dubai to visit my parents for a few days. It was a very warm and late evening. I was standing in the balcony, looking and admiring the weather. There was a lot of peace, a lot of tranquility, and a lot of calmness outside, as if no one existed in the gleam. Something flashed. I remember my mother's word. I felt an unusual peace before the storm. Within few seconds, the wind switched its direction and increased rapidly. And within few minutes, it rained heavily, leaving the air ripe, pleasant, and petrified. The sweet smell of the earth, after a sweet smell of the earth, a sweet smell of the earth before the rain, which usually occurs after a long period of warmth. I was looking and admiring. Fellow Toastmasters, I turned towards my mother and I asked her. Actually, it was very pleasing to see to the eyes the green and the rain living in a hot and humid country. I turned towards my mother and asked her if she can oil my hair. We both were enjoying the evening with chats. Suddenly, something happened. And as usual, during the rains, there's a power cut. And I noticed someone was standing at the door. The dim light provided by the candle hardly made us to see anything. I noticed this person was covered completely from top to bottom. It was as if I was petrified. The face was covered completely with the veil, tightly tied around the face, just leaving the eyes uncovered. When I saw this person standing, I noticed she was locking from inside. She was locking the door from the inside. We both, my mother and myself, we couldn't understand what exactly was happening. It really took few seconds for us to realize that there is something not right. There was a pin drop silence. Complete silence. I tried to calm my nerves and mustered the courage to ask that person who he or she was. For a while, I thought she was my aunt and she was trying to play a prank with us. Trying to be little casual with her and ask her, please, Didi, please don't do this. It's really scaring both of us. Here comes a very arrogant voice with a dagger in her hand. She said, I am not your aunt. And she pointed out the dagger towards my mother and asked her to go inside and get the jewelry and the cash. It looked as if she was aware of her whereabouts, and it was a very well planned to rob us. When I saw the dagger in her hand, I was totally petrified with fear. We couldn't move. It really took few seconds for me to realize. And fellow Toastmasters, and I had just few seconds to do whatever I had to do. I remember these are the 3 steps which I followed at that point of time. The first one was, I stayed as calm as possible. But believe me, this calm was before the storm. I did not move. I did not move. I did not make any kind of movements, nor I shouted or screamed. And the second thing I did was, I was just avoiding to have any kind of a panicky thoughts. And the third was, I was assuring myself that everything is going to be okay. Toastmasters, I was looking for one small distraction from her side. It was either fight or a flight situation, and I chose to fight. God heard me. I don't know, all of a sudden, my mom moved few steps towards her. She got panicked and she moved towards my mother. And without wasting a single second, I grabbed this opportunity. I pounced on her like a lioness. I hold her hand, which had a dagger, and from the other hand, I pushed her as hard as possible towards the wall. My mom was swift enough to just go and unlock the door and call for help. My cousin, who was staying on the second floor there, he ran down and we got her. Toastmasters, here I learned 3 lessons. The first thing, staying calm helped me to get through this situation. And remaining calm helped me to think clearly. And very important, what I've realized is, and I remember my mother always, when there is a lot of peace, I always expect some kind of a storm. Believe me, and if you face this storm, try to stay calm. At any given point of time, when adversity strikes you, that's when you have to be most calm. Take a step back, be strong, be grounded, stay calm. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful speech. I think the story really got into me and I really had goosebumps. I really appreciate the courage that you showed. I know, showing that at the right moment is also, and the presence of mind, everything plays such an important role. Oh, we had to get over this, but lovely, lovely story there. So you're coming back to our topic on smile. I want to say that smile is such an important gesture which we all fail to emit these days. And other thing is we fail to even acknowledge people who are smiling today because we're all so busy. All of us want whenever we meet somebody, it will be for some work, right? Or meeting related. We just want our work to be done and move on. We fail to connect with people even with every available opportunity that we have. At times, I feel that this will lead to loneliness, being unhappy, frustrated, because no matter during your happy times, no matter what you have, if you don't have anyone to share with, it becomes meaningless, right? At some point of time. And it just feels that, you have everything, but there's nothing. So with that, I want you all to type in the chat window, what makes you happy? For me, being with my family makes me very happy. My morning coffee brings me immense joy. For you all, what is it that make you all happy? Let's read some comments here. Playing with daughter, definitely. Reading newspaper, yes, many people miss their morning newspaper. A good movie, quiet time with family, like that. Many things, different things bring us happiness. It's so good to know. So with that, we'll move on to our second speaker, who is attempting L2P1. I request her evaluator, Toastmaster Ranajay, to read out instruction for her speech. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, dear guest. The speaker is attempting level 2, project 1. The purpose of this speech is for the member to observe his or her time management skills. The member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic, and he or she may choose to speak about the time management exercise he or she completed during the project. Timer, please note, duration of this project is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranajay. Our second speaker for today is a very talented person. She utilizes her time by making many interesting things at home. She's a homemaker, and she says that she works like 24/7 like soldiers to maintain the sanity at home. She's somebody who's very actively participating in all the club meetings. She's somebody who grabs every role that is available and being active. For her, happiness means freedom to do basically anything in life. So please put your hands together for Toastmaster Anjali for her speech titled The Hardworking We. The Hardworking We, Toastmaster Anjali. Over to you.
Thank you, Tanuja, for the introduction. Thank you very much. Every day, the same alarm clock ringing and reminding me that I must get up on time and finish my work before everybody will get up. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and my dear guests. This is the situation for every woman who is working or taking care of home with kids. There are lots of pressure on them to finish their work on time and get ready to the office. As we know, not only homemakers are struggling for the time, but the working women who are going out and spending their 8 hours in the office is also having very less time to spend with their family and kids. And more than that, they have very less time to get that precious time which we all women need. That is me time, where we can reboot and refresh ourselves. But by doing little change in your lifestyle, you can't even manage your time, but you can feel more light and happy. Yes, you heard it right. You can do that. But before that, I would like to ask you a question. Why we need to manage our time? You must tell because time is precious. Or you will tell the time is money. But for me, time is to manage ourselves. So our life will be easy and everything will come automatically to you. Working women find themselves pulled in a multiple direction. There is work, home, and multitude things in between, with role as diverse as being a mother, an entrepreneur, or a leader. To make this speech useful to everyone, I discussed with two working women who are taking care of home as well as office. And I find out very different opinion from both of them. Definitely, it is not easy for them to take care both the responsibility, but by taking little help from the outsourced resources and from the family member, somehow they are managing. Mira, who is CS and doing her own practice, she is a mother of one girl baby. She is efficient at her workplace, but doing work at home, she is telling she is getting confused and spending hours and hours in the kitchen. That is because she is not habitual to the home chores. But now taking help from the outsourced resources, she can able to manage both the places. At the other hand, my second neighbor, Geeta, who is working in the logistic company as a logistic coordinator and having two babies, she is doing all the work by her own by taking little help from her in-laws. They both are opposite to each other, but managing both the places by doing multitasking and enjoying their own comfort. Whether it will be helping hands or outsourced resources, the work always continues. The example which will I give you now, it will be the perfect example for time management. The whole India will change, but things will never change in joint families. It is not because they have to trouble somebody, but it is because they have separate choice and taste. Like if I want to make a breakfast or lunch, I have multiple of choices, but I have to consider the time criteria because I have to rush to the office. To solve this problem, I made a timetable where I considered everyone's choice and I did my rationing according to that. It saved my lots of time and the discipline to work out. To manage your own time, my dear Toastmaster, you have to just focus on six things. That six things will change your month, year, and days. So let's start. First, waking up early in the morning. This has been scientifically proven that if you are getting up early in the morning, you will be all day fresh. And morning is the perfect time to plan your whole day. But make sure it will not affect your 8 hours sleep. Second, set the time limit for every single chore. How much time do you take to peel a potato? Or how much time do you consume to make a coffee or toast? We might not notice yet, but if you are setting up the time limit for every single chore, you can able to manage your time. Third, priorities. We have lots of things, we have lots of tasks to manage in our life. We have to set the time limit for every single task. Make a rough note, prioritize the things which you have to accomplish as soon as possible. Fourth, make a genuine list. Sometimes long lists leave you in a panic. So let's make it interesting. Decide the task which you have to accomplish as soon as you wake up. Write it down in a colorful paper or stick it in your bedroom or in your kitchen. Fifth, working weekend. I will not suggest you to work whole day, entire weekend to do office work, but get some fixed timing where you can finish some of your office work to stay one step ahead to your target. Six, give at least 1 hour to yourself. Sometimes weekends are not enough to take rest or spending on ourselves. Give at least 1 hour dedicatedly to yourself. Dear Toastmaster, these are the six things which you can apply and make your time beneficial. As a concluding note, as a woman, we all know that every new day will come with a new set of challenges. We just get ready to handle them. Focus the challenges at hand, and once you get the rhythm, you will be the superwoman. Over to you, Tanuja.
Thank you for a wonderful speech, Anjali. I think it was definitely motivating for me. And I've been there in that situation, so I could totally relate to you as to how I really run around, saving every 1 minute and keep looking at the clock. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But your tips will definitely help me get better. Let's have a round of applause for her, guys. Yes, now I can hear everyone. So with that, I just want to talk about one thing. Have you heard of this famous saying, when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade out of it and enjoy? But what if life offers you a lockdown? what did we all do? Apart from sulking that, yeah, we can't go out, we became bakers. I see many people posting pictures about the banana cake, which got so famous, the Dalgona coffee. We all became maids, including our families, like multi-purpose. We all realized that our husbands could cook, clean, take care of the children when it's needed. And the best thing is, people also got back to their hobbies. And the best thing also was nobody missed birthdays of the family members. You know, this time in this 1.5 month, whoever had their birthday, their family members were right next to them. That was, I feel, you know, there was no excuse that could be given from anyone. So I feel that we should give some credit to the lockdown that happened. So let's all give a thumbs up on the chat window. This lockdown has definitely brought all of us closer. Can I see some thumbs up? Yes. Nice. So with that, we will move on to our next speaker, who is attempting CC6. May I request her evaluator, Toastmaster Shivendu, to give the instructions? So.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tanuja. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. So Toastmaster Vidya is attempting her project number 6 from Competent Communicator Manual. It's on vocal variety. So it's a pretty important project. The objective of this speech is to use voice, volume, pitch, rate, and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to the message. Use pauses to enhance the message, and use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. Best of luck, Toastmaster Vidya.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Shivendu. So our third speaker for today, she's also an image consultant who loves traveling, yoga, and she reads a lot of motivational books. For her, happiness means when she finds vegetarian food when she's traveling abroad. I know a lot of vegetarians can relate to her. It's quite a challenge when you're traveling and you can't find vegetarian food. So when she feels very ecstatic when she's saved of hunger. So please welcome Toastmaster Vidya, and her speech title is Vegetarianism, My Way of Life.
Thank you, Tanuja. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Animals are my friends, and I don't eat my friends, said George Bernard Shaw, who was a famous playwright and also Nobel and Oscar Award winner. Dear Toastmasters and dear guests, today I would like to talk about vegetarianism because I'm a vegetarian and also the concept is very close to my heart. As you all know, vegetarian is a person who does not eat any meat. But there are 4 types of vegetarians. First one, lacto-vegetarian, ovo-vegetarian, lacto-ovo-vegetarian, and vegan. First is lacto-vegetarian. Lacto-vegetarian is a person who does not consume any meat, but he consumes milk and milk products. Second one is ovo-vegetarian, is a person who does not consume any meat, but he consumes eggs, but avoids milk and milk products. And third one is lacto-ovo-vegetarian, who's a person who does not consume any meat, but he consumes both eggs and milk products. Last one is vegan, which is very popular nowadays. He is a person who chose not to have both eggs and milk or any other products of animals, and also refrains from having meat. People become vegetarians because of many reasons. First of all, health concerns, religious convictions, concerns about animal welfare, and also some people are not able to afford meat. And becoming vegetarian has become more appealing and easy because of the availability of fresh produce, fresh vegetable produce throughout the year, and also because of multiple vegetarian options. Coming to my experience, of being vegetarian, and it has been awesome. I have been vegetarian since my childhood because of religious conviction, and also because of my parents, because they never used to have any meat. But the biggest challenge came up when I got married and I realized that my husband is an occasional meat eater or non-vegetarian. And whenever we used to go to a restaurant for lunch or dinner, he used to get pissed off with me because he wanted to try multiple non-vegetarian dishes. But he could not share with me, and he was forced to eat everything all alone. And the second biggest challenge was that whenever I travel abroad, it is very difficult for me to get vegetarian food, pure vegetarian food. And I had to go in search of it. And sometimes I used to just survive on fruits, vegetables, coffee, tea, rice, and yogurt. And whenever I used to be back from my trip, I used to lose at least 2 or 3 kgs. But I felt there are many benefits associated with being vegetarian. First one, it reduces the risk related towards risk of cardiovascular disease. Many studies have shown that vegetarian diet is very good for heart. Vegetarian diet is composed of whole grains, fruits, and vegetables are very low in saturated fat. This helps to bring down cholesterol level, and also it helps you to bring the sugar in your body. And also, second one, it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes. Vegetarian diet is full of fiber, and they have very low glycemic index. Vegetarian food, and this helps in bringing your sugar level down. And also complex carbohydrates, which are present in vegetarian food, helps to control diabetes. And third one is it reduces the risk of cancer. Because many studies have shown that the immune system of vegetarian, when it comes to fighting cancer, is much more stronger than non-vegetarian. And a plant-based diet, which is full of antioxidant, it prevents against any 2-3 variety of cancer. And last benefit, overall benefit, is that vegetarians are less prone to obesity because of they have their mobile system perfect, and it reduces the toxin in the body, and because of that they fall sick very less. Nowadays many people are turning vegan or vegetarian, and it has become a trend, and it has become fashion also. Many Bollywood celebrities are like Amitabh Bachchan, Sonam Kapoor, Shahid Kapoor, Kangana Ranawat, and Alia Bhatt. They're all turned vegan. Recently, Indian cricket team captain Virat Kohli has turned vegan, and he was quoted saying, "I have never felt better in life before." So that is the power of being vegetarian. To conclude, I would like to reiterate that the benefits or advantages of being vegetarian is far outweigh its disadvantages. And vegetarianism is always a healthy and safe option. Over to you, Tanuja. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vidya. I think in my entire life, I have never heard so many things about the positive effects of vegetarianism, because I've always been a hardcore non-veg eater. I can't imagine life without non-veg food, but it is really, eye-opener for me to know that it has so much benefits. I will definitely make a lot of efforts to eat a lot of vegetarian food along with my non-veg. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
with that, we will move on to our next segment of today's session. Am I audible? I hear an echo. Am I okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So now we move on to the next session. That's the table topic session. And to conduct this, we have someone who is from the IT field, who is a project manager. He also enjoys traveling, especially traveling to visit his relatives. And he loves sharing his experiences with his kids. And what brings him happiness is serving others. So please put your hands together for Toastmaster Salim. Over to you, Toastmaster Salim.
Thank you, Tanuja. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I welcome you all for table topic session. For the benefit of guests, table topics is very similar to prepared speech, wherein difference is you need to think on a feet, structure your thought and deliver your speech within short time. Time given is 1 to 2 minutes. There are different ways of going ahead about this attempting table topics. One is it's a prep method. So point, then reason behind the way you think, provide example, and then conclude with respect to your point of view. You can talk about against for or against of the topic, or you can also attempt relating to past, present, or future topic. These are a few ways of attempting table topics. I have noted a couple of participants. I'll call out their names. Initially, I will read out the topic and then I'll call out their names. I'll give 10 to 15 seconds. If the person is not available, then I'll move on to the next person. Are you all ready?
Yes.
First topic is life is like a mirror. Smile at it and it smiles back at you. May I request Babu Raj to talk on this topic?
Sure.
Let me repeat. Life is like a mirror. Smile at it and it smiles back at you. Over to you, Babu Raj.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, dear Toastmaster friends. You sow the seed and you reap the fruit, what comes of that. You know, there was a story about, what comes to me, there was a story about, there was a saint, it's a mystic guru story. It's about somebody tried to squeeze a mango and a mango is squeezed and the mango juice started, you started making mango juice out of it. Now, he asked the question, why is a papaya juice not coming out of a mango? Why it only gives a mango juice? And a little baby there said that, look, you're stupid to ask the question. How can a mango give a papaya juice? And why is it stupid? Because it only has good mango in it. And that's exactly the point that this mystic guru also trying to convey. Look, what is inside of us only comes out. And what is not inside of us cannot come out of us. The same way, look, if we look at a situation, or if you look at a mirror, what you see is yourself, nobody else, right? The same way in life, we look at things as we are, and we get a result that we reap out of it. Now, if you want to get a result which is somebody else is getting, you may have to change your thinking each person has to look at from the different perspective. So that's when the only way for getting a different result, if you're happy with what you've been getting a result, perfectly fine. But if you think that, no, I'm not happy with that, the only option is raise your consciousness level and change your thought process, change your paradigm of looking at it. Probably you'll get a different results. There's a saying that, look, if you've been doing what you've been doing, at best you will get what you've been getting. So if you want to get a different result, we have to change it. So saying that, look, yep, if you're happy with looking at life as a mirror, you will get the result from what is inside of you, whatever you think at. Hey, my viewpoint is what always that I want to get, stick to that result, fine, you'll get that. But if you want, you have always an option to change that as well by changing your thought process, giving a paradigm shift to that. Back to you.
Well said, Baburaj. Thank you. Next topic is sometimes it's better to just remain silent and smile. I would like to call upon Srivatsan to attempt this topic.
Yes,
Let
I'm
me
there.
repeat.
Yeah.
Let
Yes,
me
please.
repeat. Sometimes it's better to just remain silent and smile. Over to you, Srivatsan.
I think this topic suits me very well because I was just doing the same thing for the past 3 weeks of the lockdown in our Toastmasters meeting. I'm just keeping silent and smiling at all the jokes and all the meeting events happening. So it is not actually my style of doing things. Mm, by this topic, the one thing is coming to my mind is what you see from others, that is what you get it to you. So when somebody is getting angry at you or somebody is shouting at you, so it doesn't matter whether you react to that particular situation. So what you can do is just be silent and just give a smile. I don't think so that will stop the other person from hitting you or shouting at you. So that makes a little bit of peace time with the other person. So there's one quote which is told by Jackie Chan in the movie The Karate Kid, where doing nothing and being silent are two different things. So the being silent doesn't mean that we are not doing anything. So being silent is also a reaction what people give it to others. So that is what it's take on my topic. Over to Salim. Thank you.
Thanks, Srivatsan. You related well to current situation. So let me move on to next topic. Everything is funny as long it's happening to somebody else. May I request Suresh to attempt this topic? Let me repeat. Suresh, are you there?
You may have to call the full name.
Suresh Madhwan. Okay, let me call next person. Amlan, would you like to attempt this? Let me repeat the topic.
Yes.
Everything is funny as long as it's happening to somebody else. Over to you, Amlan.
Well, in our day-to-day life, we come across different people. Some people are close to us, some people are our acquaintances, colleagues, and some people are total strangers. And we listen to a lot of stories from them. Different stories have different significance, and different stories deal with different kinds of situations. Some of the stories have a happy ending, some of the stories are quite sad and quite frightening. So listening to these stories brings out different perspectives in our mind and also brings in different kinds of questions. But how much are we able to put ourselves in others' feet and try to experience the situation the same way that they are experiencing? Well, what I believe is, yeah, most people, as we know, that everything is funny as long as it's happening to someone else. Yes, people like to listen to stories. People like to listen to different incidences that happen in their neighborhood, that happen in and around them. But as long as it happens to them, they don't realize the gravity of the situation. They just listen to the stories, and they try to make fun out of it sometimes, and sometimes they're totally indifferent towards it. What I suggest is, in such situations, the best way out is to help others, empathize with them, and help others to come out of the situation. And if they can't, they should just stay away from it, and they should not put forth their preconceived notions about the situation that other people are suffering. Hence, this quote is quite applicable in real life, because most of the cases we see that people just make fun of others who are going through a difficult situation, or probably like someone who has not succeeded in something. They just make some kind of comments which are totally irrelevant, or which makes others feel that it's so unfortunate. The best thing is to help them out, or to stay out of it. And this is my take on this topic that you have given. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well said, Amlan. I totally agree with you. Thank you. So let me move on to next topic. What is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you? Matthew, may I request Matthew to talk on this topic? Let me repeat. What is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you? Matthew, what do you?
Well, things happen to us, and we all have our take on how we look at things. Things may be embarrassing for some, things may be serious for others. A lot of things have happened to me. One of the things that comes to mind is when I went for a group discussion for an MBA admission, and everybody started talking about the topic. No sooner they heard the topic, people were flying, giving their opinions left, right, and center. And I sat there just with the topic written on a piece of paper. Japan and USA and USSR are not superpowers. Japan is the real superpower. That was the topic that was given. After everything, after everybody speaking, the moderator told me, "Sir, you are also a part of this group discussion. You haven't spoken a word. Why don't you give a closing remark?" And I said something which was whatever came to mind at that point in time. I realized that I never had it in me to ever speak. But it was a good lesson. So we go through embarrassing moment. It's not about the moment that you go through. At the end of the day, you've got to look back and see, is there something that you can learn from this? If you think that you're not able to go through a situation, and if there's a learning, every situation in life, either you take it as an experience or you take it as a learning. I think I was really embarrassed, and I decided that I had to do something about my speaking. And that's the reason I made a conscious effort to join a club like ours and take every opportunity that comes my way. So I would have experienced the same embarrassment that I experienced that one day for that MBA group discussion, Salim. But today it's a different story, a different time. And thank you for the topic. I think I've learned from my embarrassment, and I hope I don't embarrass myself when I'm given a topic like that in future. Over to you.
Thanks, Matthew, for sharing your experience. Let's move on to next topic. What is the craziest thing you have ever done? May I request Sridhar to talk on this topic? Sridhar, are you there?
You mean
Okay.
Srinath or Sridhar?
Yeah, maybe Srinath, if you want, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So coming to craziest thing, let me start my video. Hi. When I was a little boy, around maybe 12, 13 years, I used to work in the farms with my parents and all. So I used to climb the trees a lot. So one time I climbed a small, tall eucalyptus tree. And after I went to the top almost, I saw a green snake coming from the, from the stem. I was so scared, and I jumped into a different tree like a monkey and survived. So that was one of the craziest thing I've done. Nothing happened, but I was so proud, but now I tried it again. So with that, back to you.
Thanks, Srinath. Thanks for sharing your experience. I think it's a bit risky. So let me move on to next topic. What would you do if you were invisible for a day? May I request Kuldeep to talk on this topic? Let me repeat. What would you do if you were invisible for a day? Over to you, Kuldeep.
I don't know. Maybe I think I've been working a lot these days. All I think of is sleeping. Yeah, for that we don't have to be invisible. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm a guest, so yeah, I'll take this some other time.
Do you want to go talk on other topic?
No, yeah, it's fine. I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for attempting this, Kuldeep. So let me go to next topic. If you could be a cartoon character for a week, who would you be? Jane, would you like to talk about this?
Yes, Salim. Thank you for the topic. If I could be a cartoon character for a day, what would I be? An interesting topic because I've always loved cartoons, and even now, I'd prefer
Isha,
animation movie
your
anytime.
food.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Jane.
Srinath, you have to turn off the mobile. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jane, can I continue? Jane, continue.
Okay. Yeah. So I was saying that even today, I'd prefer to see an animation or a cartoon movie compared to an action or any other movie. And the favorite cartoon character would, of course, be either Tom or Jerry. I think I'd go with Jerry because Jerry seems to win all the time with the fight that he has with Tom. And both of them seem to have a lot of fun running around and playing pranks all the time. So I think that's it. Can't think of anything else right now.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks for talking on this topic. So let me move on to next topic. If you could read minds, how would you use the gift? I would like to call Shravan. Sharwan, would you like to take this topic? Sharwan, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
go ahead, Sharwan. Yeah, I'll
Good
repeat.
afternoon.
Do you want me
Yeah,
to
please,
repeat this topic? Yeah.
Yeah, please talk.
If you could read minds, how would you use the gift? What do you, Sharwan?
Sorry, your audio is not clear. I don't think we can hear anything at all.
I'm turning off my video because of the net problem. I'm turning off my video.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Can you hear my? Is my voice is clear now?
Yes, much better now. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm going ahead. What I was saying is, this is a new platform for me. Like Toastmasters, I've seen many TED talks, and I'm inspired with that. I've been in I want to be a part of many talk shows or something like that because that is that is one of the key for any success. So this is a platform I'm using for it. So coming back to the question that if I want to understand or read a mind of an opposite person, generally that is a more of psychology. So I believe I'm good with that. So I try to think what this other perspective, from the other perspective as well. So if I get a chance to think about other person, I want to think about all you people, what you guys are thinking about this about this presentation, about this meeting, how you all connected to this, are happy about it, or what you feel on that, what is your take, everything. I just want to understand, and then come back to this meeting, hear the meetings, hear the presentations, and then conclude on it. So I can have the both perspective, from the presenter perspective and also the listener perspective. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well said, Sherwan. Thanks for attempting this topic. Let me move on to next topic. When you are having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better? May I call upon Parthiban to attempt this?
Yes, Samir.
Let me repeat. When you are having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better? Over to you, Parthiban.
Yes. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. So I had experienced a lot of things like bad situation. So whenever I am in bad situation, and I go and play with the children especially. So if I go and relate with the story, so in the offices and all, sometimes I got scolded by my manager, or even I had a bad day. So what I will do is I go, especially in my PG, there are some few children, the PG owner children. So I'll go and play with them cricket and all, just to have some fun. So this is what I will do. So whenever I get a bad day or something else, I go and approach children and try to make fun of them or spending some time with them, because they don't mind like elders and bothering what to do next and all. So they are staying in the present and they keep doing whatever they want to do. It makes me happier. So whenever I have a bad day, I wanted to be with children. Thank you. Over to Sam.
Thanks, Parthiban. Well said. Let me move on to the next topic. If you have to give up one thing that you do every day, what would it be? May I call upon Amruta to talk on this topic? Amruta, are you there? Uh, let me call upon Margaret Rupa. Would you like to take this topic?
She's on mute.
Looks like she's.
Okay. Looks like they're unable to come out of mute button. Let me call upon Ayyappa. Ayyappa, would you like to talk on this topic?
Sure, thank you.
Let me repeat.
Yeah,
if
sorry.
you had to give up one thing that you do every day, what would it be? Over to you,
Yeah.
Ayyappa.
Table topic master and fellow Toastmaster and guests. If I want to give up something, yeah, there are many things. One thing I would like to do is, kind of obsessed with perfection, obsessed with cleanliness. So I want to be normal. It irritates me a lot at times because I want the things to be in its place. I mean, I don't want to get mess up things. So it kind of somewhere I feel it's affects my daily life, my health. So that is one thing I've been want to do it, but procrastinating. It's not happening. So whenever that come to my mind, how I manage trying to do now is like, I try to do something which I like it. Suppose if I get angry, so that if I just start doing that, it helps me to come out of these kind of being obsessed with it should be like this, like I'm just trying to come out of the situations. I try to be okay with everything. It's okay to be not be perfect. It's okay to be sometimes to see the things mess. yes, this is what one thing I want to come out of. One thing I want to stop. Back to table topic master.
Thank you, Ayyappa. Thanks for sharing your views. With this, we have come to end of the table topic session. I hope you all enjoyed the session. With this, I'll hand it over to Tanuja for taking forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salim, for keeping the topics related to smile and happiness. And I think all the speakers gave it a good thought on this topic and spoke well. A big round of applause to everyone. So with that, we finish the second segment and we move on to the general evaluation session. And to run us through this, we have a very seasoned evaluator. And I know most of you must be wondering why I didn't introduce in the beginning. There are two reasons why I kept this introduction towards the evaluation. One is he wanted it that way. Second is I have a very long introduction of him. He's a retired senior manager from BHEL who is a ceramic expert and has several patents in his name. Presently, he is a motivational speaker, member of Bangalore Toastmaster Club, and he was also awarded the Toastmaster of the Year award twice. He's been a chief judge who has also visited the Toastmaster headquarters, and he believes in a thought that people are generally good, only circumstances make them different. So please put your hands together for Toastmaster Bosco. Over to you, Toastmaster Bosco.
Thank you, Tanuja. A very good afternoon to you all, fellow Toastmasters. I am excited and feel it my honor to be a part of the Talk Magicians meeting, which I should have attended years ago when I was invited by Mr. James. For various reasons, I couldn't. But here I am today to share my thoughts on what I felt about the meeting, and if there was any scope for improvement, I would share it with you. What I felt nice was the chatter that we had before the meeting started. There was a bonding amongst the members. A lot of humor came out before the meeting, and I thought, well, we are setting the tone for the meeting. We're going to have a lot of humor because the smile is a curve that makes many things straight, is what is the theme, and we are going to have fun. Having said that, meeting number 368 will go down in my memory at the Talk Magic Toastmasters Club, because this is my first meeting in your club, despite being a Toastmaster for 22 years. Our Sergeant-at-Arms, Prithvi, started the meeting well. He was talking about investment in education and investment in Toastmasters. He spoke about the mission of Toastmasters. He talked about protocol, especially in virtual meetings where we need to know how to sit at a meeting, how to switch on and switch off. Those things were very well brought out by the Sergeant-at-Arms. One of the statements that come out in every Toastmasters meeting across the country is the statement that we will not speak anything about religion, politics, and sex. Now that sounds a little bit odd to me, because I'm yet to attend a Toastmasters meeting where they speak about these things. And nowhere in Toastmasters it is said that you should avoid these topics. And for a guest who comes to the meeting, he will think, oh, these people speak all these things, do they? Type of situation would come. Personally, I felt, since all Toastmasters know that, we can avoid it. When guests come, we can invite them to the meeting and tell them before the meeting, this is what we avoid. I think we can avoid that statement. This is just a suggestion for the Sergeant-at-Arms and anybody who wants to take up the Sergeant-at-Arms roles. Now, he introduced the President Prakash Francis, and the president invited the secretary to give the minutes, which was read well. I thought Vidya would have reduced the speed in reading the minutes because it is an important event that happened during the last week. We could miss out on some of the things, and I thought maybe a little slower would make it sound interesting. So for the secretary and the sergeant at arms, fellow Toastmasters, can we give a thumbs up? Because most of you are muted, so I cannot say give an applause. President, I've known Prakash from many years when he was a part of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, a great gentleman, a fitness freak, and a man who can really speak. I have seen the transformation since I knew him then to what he is now. Came out with a beautiful message about the pianist. I think the perception that we bring to any situation is in our hands, and the pianist saved the day. A very nice way of bringing out a message. Always a story plays a very important role, and your story, Prakash, really did gel well, and you went on to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. So for our president, let's give a thumbs up. Okay. I would like to speak about the Toastmaster of the day. I'm not going to delay that. We will speak about Tanuja, the Toastmaster, who was well prepared. Her preparation started to me when she sent me a message a few days back and asked me, sir, I need your introduction. Now, this is what I call commitment. I'm sure she would have contacted all the assignees, ensured that everybody was in place, so there are no glitches in the meeting. What I liked about you, Tanuja, is you had the theme right behind you, and throughout the time you were speaking, the theme was looking at me. That's a very nice way of doing things. You had a very good introduction for each and every speaker, which is very important. You introduced the evaluator, you introduced the speaker, and you gave us also what topic and what was the speaker actually attempting in terms of his or her project. You started well, and I believe a Toastmaster needs, the Toastmaster of the day needs to have a small script in terms of the theme of the day and take us through the meeting. I see there is a lot of attempts by a lot of people, which you have also done today, is in between the speakers bringing out something which is related to the theme of the day or to the theme of what you want to speak. I would suggest that whatever you want to say in terms of inputs to the members, finish it out in one go. 3 or 4 minutes, close it up, and then have a crisp introduction for every speaker. Thank every speaker. You need not actually dwell on what the speaker did, because you have an evaluator who's going to do that. You have a general evaluator who's going to comment. So I personally feel the Toastmaster of the day is the most important person. He or she takes the meeting across. So the crispness or the pace of the meeting is felt only when we have different people speaking at different times. So my suggestion to you is, if you are the Toastmaster of the day, avoid speaking between the speakers. Yes, between the sessions, yes. After the speak session, you could say something. After the table topic session, you could say something. But in between the speakers, because sometimes the listener is still dwelling on what the speaker said. And we can actually avoid coming in between. This is my personal suggestion, which I practice whenever I am the Toastmaster of the day. For a very good job done, for a very committed activity that we've seen from you, Tanuja. Congratulations, keep it up. I'm looking forward to meeting you again and again. Let's give it to her.
Thank you so much for your
You're
valuable
welcome.
feedback.
We go to the speech session. We had Shabana Khan giving us a speech titled Calm Before the Storm, CC4, project CC4, and her evaluator was Thangama Kalapa. Am I right? Yes, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, Toastmasters, and good afternoon, Shabana in particular. You attempted your project 4 from the CC manual today, which is how to say it, and it was titled Calm Before the Storm. The title was apt. It synced in with the entire speech, the story that you had to bring out to us, and though it was evident of what you're trying to talk about, it had a certain amount of surprise element because the story wasn't revealed in the very beginning. But I love the point or the fact that you had the basic element of a speech, which is basically the transition, which was beginning, body, and conclusion. That was stringed very well and weaved very well, and you had the characters from the beginning until the end placed really well. That is yourself and your mother and the woman who came in between, and that entire story fell in place for us really beautifully. And I think the topic was so relevant for the choice, and the choice was really good because it gave you an opportunity to beautify it using the language, because that is the main objective of your speech today. I also ensured that the essence of your speech, which is basically to stay calm, was brought out multiple times and was emphasized in different instances in your speech today. Coming to the main objectives of CC4, I think there were many different places and instances where you made sure that the play of words would improve the impact of the speech that you delivered. For example, the hot and humid Dubai, the smell of the first rain, the detailed imagery of the incident that took place, the woman who was covered completely with just the eyes open, her barging into the house, and her taking the dagger and trying to attack you, and how you came across and showed yourself as a lioness, really courageous, and you attacked her to make sure that you defend yourself and your family. And all of this was brought out really well using simple words and sentences and with apt amount of repetition, where you mentioned three things, which is basically to be calm, stay calm, and make sure and be having the assurance that everything is going to be okay. So you use the concept of telling what you did and again repeating what you've already done, so that stays in the mind of all the listeners. So I think this was beautifully done. Again, you emphasized on staying calm at the end when you said adversity strikes, but at the same time it's upon us to make sure that we stay calm and do the things that we need to do. Well, having said these are the things that really impressed and worked for me, I think there were a few things that you could look at and improving in your future speeches. One of them, I think, is a technical glitch. In the beginning, there were a few places where I couldn't really hear you well. I'm not pretty sure if it was a problem at my end or your end. So there were a few words that I missed. So the beginning impact was something I couldn't really catch. The second was the emphasis on the three P's. That's the pause, pace, and the pitch. This is in fact something that you will work on in the upcoming speeches. So hopefully by the time you reach CC6, this will be taken care of, because there were places when you said pin drop silence. When those aspects come, I look forward for you to come a tone, your tone should go a little lower to bring that impact. So those are the things that you can focus on your future speeches. And there were some places where the pauses weren't right. It looked like you were trying to recollect your speech, so that is something you could probably avoid. But having said that, these are some improvement areas. But to summarize, it was a gripping story with a true story that you brought in place and a lesson for all of us to take back home today. And it was a package really well delivered. Congratulations on completing your CC4. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Tangama, for that exhaustive evaluation. You covered all aspects of the project. I thought the one area which you should have touched on is the use of rhetorical devices. The similes, metaphor, alliterations, triads is a very, very important tool that a speaker needs to use. And I thought that was very, very important in this project, which I think you should have covered. Coming to Shabana, I think this is one area which you need to look at to beautify your speech. Whilst you used a lot of descriptive words, I think beautifying your speech with the rhetorical devices can take your speech to a different level. As Tangama said, you need to work on your voice, which was going to come in the projects later, but still remember a dramatic story like this, if you had used your voice effectively, would have remained in my mind for a very long time. So fellow Toastmasters, to the speaker and to the evaluator, let's give a thumbs up. Next, we had Anjali giving us the L2 P1 level speech, the working week. She was evaluated by Ranajay Dasgupta. Shall we have the feedback, please?
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and my target speaker, Anjali. Anjali, you really rule the stage. Your speech can easily be the specimen of delivering a speech with confidence, right body language, gestures. I was really literally sucked into the energy with which you delivered the speech. Also, you did not fumble even once. Clearly shows how well you have prepared the speech. I also like very much the mix of content with your speech throughout, from the beginning to the end. You had an interesting opening. You introduced the topic very well. You peppered your research with two working women. You created an element of surprise in between and also ended your speech with 6 very valuable tips. Having said that your speech was really impressive and scintillating, I have few recommendations which can take your speech to the next level. Um, your topic or your project motive was to observe your time management pattern. Now, you did not cover in depth your personal experience when it comes to time management. You mentioned about maintaining a timetable, but I do not recall some other examples where you shared your personal experience on how you manage your time. I thought that if you had covered your personal experience more, then you have done more justice to the theme of the project. I also, you also introduced themes like working mom, me time, etc. And you obviously spoke about working mom, but somewhere I got a little confused whether you want to bring these two sub themes, me time and working mom, and create your speech around those areas. But then eventually you delivered a speech which was more generic when it comes to time management. I really liked your list of advices. But one couple of suggestions there when you come up with the list of advices. Uh, Ideally, the list of advices or any list that you share should be mutually exclusive, meaning there should be no overlap between different items that you're discussing here. Let's say you mentioned, to define your priorities, you mentioned making a list out of it. So these two are two different advices, but ideally they can be clubbed into one because you prioritize and then you create a daily list for yourself, right? Also, if you could bring up the current situation that we are locked in the lockdown situation, we are cooking, washing, and also working on our laptop, right? So a suggestion on how to manage your time in such lockdown scenarios, maybe blocking your Outlook calendar for a day, just to let people know that you use this time for lunch or dinner or playing with your kids. That will really help when you balance your work with your personal course. Overall, it was an excellent speech. Your delivery was excellent. To summarize the improvement areas, I would just say that uh, introduce more your personal experience into the speech, and also you could have brought something which is more topical and relevant, like the lockdown experience. Over to you.
Thank you, Ranajay. Thank you for that exhaustive evaluation. One of the challenges that we have with Pathways is at every project, they talk about the feedback to be given in terms of voice and gesture, which I thought Ranajay, you should have covered also, because that is a very, very important learning for the speaker at every project. whilst in the old system, it was there in a particular project in the pathways. It is something that you have to pick up through at every speech, and every evaluator needs to give comments to the speaker on that area. I thought that's one area which you as an evaluator needed to have covered. Otherwise, you very beautifully brought out excellently the speech of Anjali. Thank you very much. And Anjali, great speech. A lot of learning for me from your speech. All we need is for you to learn how to use your voice and gestures, which will make it even more powerful and interesting for all of us. Thank you very much. Thumbs up for the speaker and the evaluator, please. Then we had the third speaker, Vidya, speaking on vocal variety, CC6, vegetarianism, my way of life. She was evaluated by Shivendu. Can we have the feedback, please, by Shivendu?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmaster, guests, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Vidya. So CC6, it was a dreaded project for me as well. So somebody like me who has a flat tone. Very good attempt, Vidya, and congratulations for completing it successfully. It's a very, very interesting topic that you have selected, veganism, vegetarianism. You started with a very good quote from GBS. You talked about 4 different kinds of vegetarianism, and I never had a slightest idea that it can be divided in such a good fashion. So very good learning from that. You talked about your own reasons of becoming vegetarianism. Then you shared personal stories about why, what are the struggles you had. Good story about going to the restaurants with your husband and your husband eating platter after platter. Your travels to different foreign countries and the challenges that you faced over there. And then you talked about the benefits of vegetarianism and some of the list of celebrities who are vegetarians themselves. Some surprising names for me was Virat Kohli, who has recently become vegan. Very good informative points, and I learned a lot from this speech. Now, coming back to the objective of speech and the good points that you have outlined or you have shown. Your speech and the script was very, very neatly crafted. And in just 6.5 minutes, you are able to cover the essence of the speech, some of the personal stories, and some of the benefits of vegetarianism as well. So that's very, very neatly crafted. Irrespective of this particular speech, I always found your voice to be very, very soothing. And it is a natural vocal variety, which is not very expansive, but it is enough to keep the audience engaged. That also came through this particular speech as well. So kudos to you for that. You used your pitch well when you are transitioning from one section to another section. You did that well. So again, kudos to you for that. Your facial expression at times was you are looking on the left hand, to your right hand side, but at other times your facial expression was good, your eyes movement was good, and I'm sure if you would have given an in-person speech, it could have been better as well. So points to you for that as well. Now coming to some of the things that you could have improved, because I'm talking from my personal experience, because I also have a flat tone, I would just reiterate the points that my evaluator gave me when I attempted this particular speech. He stressed on 3 points. One is, these 3 points would be useful for somebody who is trying to improve his vocal variety in a number of ways. Number 1 is, when you're speaking, take an opportunity to go or reduce your volume at certain point in time and raise it at certain point, like just after that. One opportunity for that, I thought, is when you're talking about going to the restaurant. You could have said that, I didn't get to eat anything, and my husband ate platter after platter. That was a good opportunity that you could have taken. Pauses. You could have used long pauses at variety of points. I think one important point that could have becoming vegan. I'm pretty sure not many of us would be aware of that. So you could have said something like, who else is becoming vegan? Yes, Virat Kohli, right? So that could have been another opportunity to introducing the pause. And third is speaking some of the sentences very fast and then giving the punchline very, very slowly. I saw that President Barack Obama does that really, really well. So towards the end, when you are giving the benefits of vegetarianism, we're talking about antioxidants, how it cures cancer or prevents cancer. The last line you could have given it very, very slowly, that maybe vegetarianism improves your lifespan, something to that effect. But all in all, congratulations, very well job done. Improving vocal variety is going to be a lifelong project, and I'm sure that you are going to take this opportunity to all these learnings that you have got from today, you will apply to your next projects. Over to you, General Elevator Post.
Thank you, Shubhendu.
I think you're on mute.
You're on mute.
There was a tractor running in, so I just switched it off. Thank you, Shivendu, for that exhaustive evaluation. And I think you covered all parts of what you're supposed to in this evaluation. What you could have summed up is a good speaking voice or a quality speaking voice is balanced between rate, pitch, and volume, which is what this whole project speaks about, with the right type of pauses. I think you covered all the things, but to me personally, and this would be to Vidya also, this particular speech did not facilitate excellent use of the variety in voice. A dramatic talk, a conversation would have enhanced the opportunity for us to explore the use of the voice, which was missing. Perhaps if you had taken Shabana's speech and I'd looked at it from this point of view, I would have had an opportunity to talk a lot about voice variety. A speech which we talk about in terms of voice variety is something which has to remain with us all our lives. And this is a very important learning, because storytelling is something that you can get into, making presentations. So the voice here plays a very important role. And I thought this is one area which you should look at. Well, this is an excellent learning speech that you gave. One word that shook me was the pissed off. You don't use that in public, especially not in a Toastmasters meeting. Okay, it comes off to the mind. We got to be very careful when we speak these words. Okay, all in all, your attempt was excellent. You had a lot of information. I learned a lot from you. Just to tell you, whilst I am a non-vegetarian, my son in Dublin is a vegan today, and he is trying to tell me what he is experiencing, and it is ringing in my ears. This is going to remain with me for some time. Thank you for your speech, and thank you, Shivendu. Thumbs up to the speaker and the evaluator. Then we had the table topic master, Mr. Salim. He gave us excellent topics. He explained also how we can handle the topics, and I thought that was very, very interesting. He brought out very good topics and was able to ensure that whoever spoke beautifully well. Whilst many of us did not respond to his call, this is an area which I think all of us should look at. During the table topic session, you should be present. Your mic should also be on. When somebody else is speaking, switch off. When he finishes or she finishes, switch on, because we can hear you. Otherwise, the table topic master is groping as to what to do next. We're putting him in a little bit of an embarrassment, because the topic is given and there is silence. Well, this is a challenge in a virtual meeting like this. I'm sure we will be able to overcome that. So one bit of statement that you use, let me move on to the next topic, is not required at all. You are moving on to the next topic. So fellow Toastmasters, my next topic is bring out the topic, and the speaker is bring out the name of the speaker. I think this is what is very important, that liveliness in the most challenging, interesting part of the meeting, table topics, gets nullified when you don't have enthusiasm. So this is my small advice to you, Salim. Great topics. Some of them would have tickled my brain also. Thank God I was not on the other side. So thank you very much. So thumbs up for Salim, the table topic master. Let's go to my tag team. We had the time manager in Santosh. Can you give your feedback, please?
Yeah, sure. I will speak about who is little bit beyond of the time range. So Anjali took 7 minutes 10 seconds, and apart from that, in the table topic, Babu Raj took 2 minutes 52 seconds. Srinath took 45 seconds, and Jane took 40 seconds. And in evaluators, Thangama took 3 minutes 52 seconds. Ranajay took 3.23, and Suvendu took 4.25 minutes. So that's all. Thank you.
That's all. Thank you, Santosh. As the time manager, I think one of the very important things that needs to be done at a meeting is for the time manager to announce the meeting started at 3:01 p.m. The sergeant at arms took so many minutes. The president in his address took so many minutes. The Toastmaster of the day totally used so much of time. I think everybody's time is very important. It should come out as a report, and this is something which is very traditional in Toastmasters. Everybody knows how much time he or she has taken, especially as a president of the club. How long have I spoken? I can go on speaking for 10 minutes. I can speak for 3 minutes. So when I'm aware of the timing that I use, I will start preparing better. And this is a suggestion to all time managers. Give the timing of everybody who spoke. Let them know how much time they took. So thumbs up for Santosh. Thank you, Santosh. Then we had the R counter in Veera. Can we have the feedback, please? Yes, Veera.
The good evening again. I'm carefully noted the crutches words, the repeated filler words, and everything, but not sure the count is exactly because we had some connection issue in between. The president in the presidential speech, the two R's used. In TM Modi speech, one short pause used. Amalan speech, there are one short pause used. Thank you.
Thank you. Our counter had 4 hours when making your report. Thank you, Veera, for your feedback. Thumbs up for Veera. Now, can we get Manish to give us the grammarian's report, please?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening again to fellow Toastmasters and guests. So I'll start off with the good usage of language. Some of the good words used were calm my nerves, muster courage, petrified with fear, adversity strikes you, calm before the storm, reboot and refresh, religious convictions, change of paradigm, left, right, and center, seasoned evaluator, surprise element, weaved, gripping story. There was some amount of bad usage, so I'll try to give you guys alternatives. So pleasing to see to the eyes. So instead of using a longer sentence, you can shorten it. Soothing to see. We also use this word a lot in our conversation. Little, like a little casual, a little help, a little confused. You can use an alternative word like a bit casual or a bit confused. She got panicked. It's she panicked. Working women's. Woman is already a plural, so you can use just women. Doing multitasking. Multitasking is a verb, so you don't have to use another verb. It can just be multitasking. And again, like Toastmaster Bosco mentioned, we shouldn't use certain words. So an alternative to the word which Toastmaster Vidya had used, you can use infuriated. Infuriated is a good alternative. And some pronunciations as well. It's not vegan, it's vegan, and it's not squeeze, it's squeeze. Over to you, Toastmaster Bosco.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you very much. Did anybody use the word of the day?
No, nobody used the word of the day.
I would have really been ecstatic if somebody had used the word. I would have jumped with ecstasy if somebody had used the word, is what you could have said to all of us. Okay. Thank you very much for your feedback, Manish. That was very, very well done. So can we ask the listener of the day, Nixon, to give us the questions he has in store for us? Let's see how good we were at listening.
Good evening, all. Can you all hear me? Is my voice clear?
Yes.
I would say
Speak
it's
loudly,
time,
please.
I would say it's time for us to self-evaluate our listening skills. If you're able to answer all the questions, which means you can be a good husband or a wife, or you have to continue listening to many of the Toastmasters meeting. So my first question would be, investment is dash gives us the best return. Investment in dash gives us a best return.
Education.
Perfect. Next, best evaluator for meeting number 367. That is the previous meeting. The best
Energy.
evaluator.
Toastmaster energy.
Right. Next, when was the Independence Day feeling for TMOD Tanuja for the year 2020? I
May
repeat
4th.
again. May 4th. Oh, so I don't have to repeat the question. Thank
May
you.
the 4th be with you.
Next, what is happiness to Toastmaster Shabana? What is happiness to Toastmaster Shabana?
Giving and receiving.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Sure. Next, what were the three things that came to Toastmaster Shabana's mind during the robbery attempt? What were the three things which came to Toastmaster Shabana's mind during the robbery attempt?
Calm, not panic.
Reach for the dagger.
Grab the opportunity.
Maybe I will answer it. First was stay calm. Second was no panic thought. And third was everything is going to be okay.
Wow.
Next, name the Toastmasters at Talk Magic who likes to make interesting items at home. I repeat again, name the Toastmasters at Talk Magic who likes to make interesting items at home.
Anjali.
Toastmaster Anjali.
Anjali.
Very fast.
Okay. How many hours you should spend with yourself in a day as per Toastmaster Anjali?
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Perfect. Next question is, who are vegans?
Those who don't eat milk products and meat.
Meat.
Yeah.
And egg also.
Anything from living organs.
Yeah.
Living animals.
Living animals.
Yes.
Vegetarian diet is good for heart, brain, or stomach?
Heart.
Heart. Right. Next, interesting question. Who are less prone to obesity?
Vegetarians.
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 According to Toastmaster.
According to.
And also the alcoholic also. It's also the alcoholic. Okay. What was the style of engagement of Toastmaster Srivatsan during the last
Smile and listen.
Hi.
No, I think the answer was, I think so it was being silent.
I wish
Next.
I could.
The favorite cartoon character of Toastmaster Jane was
Jerry.
It was because
Jerry wins always.
Wins.
It was Jerry wins always. Thank you all for participating in the listening activity.
Thank you very much, Nixon. That was excellent. Shall we thumbs up for him, please? That was great. So, fellow Toastmasters, we are in an organization that helps us develop our communication and leadership skills. Toastmasters, where leaders are made. We, in this meeting, not only learn to become better leaders, but also practice our communication skills such that we reach better scales, go to higher levels. The more important and the most important part is to provide helpful, constructive evaluations. Feedback, they say, is breakfast for champions. So if you want to be a champion, like you have in your club, you need to know where your weaknesses lie. You need to know where you got to improve, and you need to know how to improve. Unless and until you invest your time and efforts in trying to develop yourself, you're going to remain just the same. Believe me, there was a time, especially for some of the speeches given today, if we had spoken like this, they would have told us, repeat your project. This is the type of learning that we went through in those days. I'm talking about 15, 20 years back, where for our own good, we were told to repeat the same project with another topic. Now, this is a challenge for all of us. Are we just giving a speech project because it calls for something and say, I go to the next level and then finally I get an award? Or are we enjoying the journey of Toastmasters by learning step by step and absorbing all that the Toastmasters meeting gives us, the learning and the satisfaction? Is a question that I leave with you before I hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. There was this question my son used to always grumble at me and ask, and my wife, when he was about 4 years old. Every year during our anniversary, we would look at our wedding snaps and he would be searching for himself in that. You're very naughty, Papa. I'm very angry with you, Mummy. Why? You never took me for your wedding, he would say. And he used to be really angry with us, and we were not in a position, ladies and gentlemen, to convince him that he was not available then to take him and go. On this note, I hand over the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the detailed evaluation, Toastmaster Bosco. Before we move ahead, I request everyone to vote if you have not voted already. And I also request people to vote only after the evaluation session is over and not before that, because that's when you'll get a good picture of everybody. So yeah, I feel the evaluation was very candid and straight. Feedback is breakfast for champions. So we're all champions and we'll take the feedback positively and let's work on improving our speeches, our deliveries as much as possible. So with that, we come very close to the end of this session. I thoroughly enjoyed hosting the session. And I would like to reiterate that yes, smile is a curve that sets everything straight. So keep smiling, stay happy. Over to you, President Prakash, to announce winners.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanuja. Thank you. Then let's give a round of applause and a thumbs up sign for our TMOD for conducting a wonderful, engaging session today. Can we have a thumbs up? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Tanuja. So thank you for this engaging session. And just to remind you all that our newsletter is to be published and we would request some articles. So if you can share your articles with our VP PR, Jay Prakash, it will be great. And the other thing is we have these weekly sessions where we have an opportunity for you to participate in impromptu speaking. That is how we started it. Almost every day of the week at 7 o'clock we are meeting, and some of the people are very regular. I see Anjali, I see Baburaj, some more people are very regular. I really appreciate that, and I would encourage all of you to participate, and you can use that as an opportunity to practice. I mean, you want to try out your speeches or practice your speech, just test it out. You can, I mean, the sky is the limit. I mean, we have the technology. It is up to us how we make the technology our slave and make it make the maximum out of it. So that's the message for now. Let me thank you. Let me come up with a. Let me share the winners for today. The best role taker is TMOD Tanuja. Can we give a round of applause? A good thumbs up to Tanuja.
Thank you everyone.
Welcome. And best evaluator Shivendu. Shuvendu, who evaluated Anjali, I think. Best evaluator, Shuvendu. And Vidya, yes, best
Vidya.
evaluator. And then best table topic speaker, well, Matthew. Best table topic, Matthew, and best speaker is Anjali. Let's give a round of applause to all of you. And it was a wonderful meeting. Thank you, Bhaskar sir, for this excellent evaluation. Very useful tips. Let us all take the best from that. And stay safe whenever you are going out. Try to avoid going out in the first place, but stay safe whenever you are going out. Have fun, and see you next week. All the best to you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye,
Bye
sir.
bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you and bye.
Bye, everyone.